The purpose of this video is to explain why clients of Capital International Bank may require 2 further accounts to complement their capital call account. These extra accounts come at no extra cost and are essential for clients dealing with larger sums. Before we get into the details of the 2 extra accounts, let's start off by looking at the CCA. All clients of Capital International Bank have a CCA, which limits you to a total balance of 2 million GBP across all currencies. As a client of Capital International Bank, it is of course possible to hold more than 2 million GBP. It's just that any funds exceeding this amount, rather than being held by Capital, are placed with at least one other reputable bank on your behalf. This benefits you as a client, as we are essentially diversifying your monies by spreading them across one or more institutions that meet our acceptable credit rating. This reduces your exposure to Capital International Bank, so don't worry, it is possible to hold larger sums of money. Let's explore how the process works. If funds are received which do not exceed the maximum of 2 million GBP across all of your accounts, this is perfectly fine and no further action is needed. In this case, you remain within your limit, and with funds in your account, you can now access digital payments, pay your chosen beneficiaries, carry out foreign exchange transactions, and move monies to other internal accounts you hold with Capital International Bank. But what happens if the transfer you are planning into an account would bring the CCA's total balance over the limit of 2 million GBP? If a receipt into the account takes the combined balance in your accounts over 2 million GBP, or currency equivalent, we would need to send the funds back to the sender. However, if you open a Capital Treasury account, you will be able to receive funds over this limit in certain currencies. This is the first of our additional free accounts, which allows you to handle larger sums of money. Let's now look at how the Capital Treasury account, or the CTA, works. If you believe you are likely to exceed the 2 million GBP limit on the CCA, you should request the opening of a CTA and a linked excess fiduciary account via secure messages. Don't worry about the excess fiduciary account for now. We'll talk about it later. Once these accounts are open, any amounts that would take the CCA balance above 2 million GBP should instead be sent directly to the CTA, which has its own separate account number. If you're going to often have a balance near to the 2 million GBP limit in the CCA, then we suggest you send your incoming money straight to the CTA. There is no limit to the amount that you can send into your CTA. Currencies available include sterling, euros, and US dollars. To see all available currencies, please check the FAQs. It is important to note that for funds to be applied to your CTA account on the same day, they must arrive before the cut-off time of 2:30 p.m. In this case, using your CTA, you'll be able to access digital payments, pay your chosen beneficiaries, and access live foreign exchange just like you can with your CCA. Each day at 2:30 p.m., your CTA account will be locked for your use. Any residual balance that you haven't moved out of your CTA will be transferred by us to a linked excess fiduciary account called the EFA before the close of business. We do, however, encourage clients to manage this process themselves, either by making a payment out or moving the funds over to the EFA before 2:30 p.m. Transferring money over to the EFA moves your cash from Capital International Bank's balance sheet to that of one or more highly rated third-party banks. This reduces your exposure to Capital International Bank. Transfers between these accounts can be made free of charge. By now, you're probably wondering why it is that we require you to move your funds to the excess fiduciary account. This is because the account balance in your CTA must be reduced to 0 by 2:30 p.m. every day to meet bank capital requirements. What happens if money arrives in the CTA after the cut-off time of 2:30 p.m.? Any monies received after 2:30 p.m. will be credited to your CTA on the next available working day. In summary, all clients of Capital International Bank will have a capital call account, a Capital Treasury account, and a linked excess fiduciary account may be required if you're dealing with larger sums by placing monies into the EFA. Your funds will sit with another bank, which meets our minimum credit rating criteria. It's important to note that the EFA purely serves as a storage account to allow you to hold unlimited funds in a number of currencies, which are detailed in our FAQs. As a storage account, The EFA has limited functionality, so in order to take advantage of Capital International Bank services, such as payments and foreign exchange, funds will need to be returned back to the CTA and paid out before 2:30 p.m. After 2:30 p.m., you can carry on using your CCA as usual. Another important point is that monies that flow into the EFA can only come from the CTA. No monies from outside Capital International Bank can flow directly into your EFA. We've covered a lot of ground in this video. Let's do a quick summary to make sure you've understood the key points. First off, if you are going to exceed a total combined balance of 2 million GBP in your CCA, these monies should instead be sent to your CTA. After you have conducted the transactions you require using the CTA, you should transfer any remaining balance over to your EFA before 2:30 p.m. If you do not carry out the transfer yourself before 2:30 p.m., we will do this for you. As we discussed, the benefit of placing monies in the EFA is that you are holding any larger sums of money with another bank. This helps us meet our regulatory capital requirements and spreads your exposure across other banks, as well as Capital International Bank, whether it's you who moves the money over to the EFA, or whether it's the Capital International Bank team. The key thing to remember about this process is that the balance of the CTA must be zero by the end of each day. You are then able to transfer funds into your CTA the next working day, so you can make payments prior to 2:30 p.m. Again, your CCA does not have any time restrictions. This account can be used at any point in the day. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it has helped you to better understand how our accounts work. If you do not need immediate access to some or all of your funds, you may wish to consider our bespoke Fiduciary account or our capital term deposit account, which allow you to place some currencies on fixed term deposit.